Hello, church family. It's 2-Minute Tuesday. This spring, the focus of my midweek videos has been a collection of my favorite Bible passages. Today's passage is Philippians 4, verses 4 through 7. Hear the word of the Lord. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. If you've been a Christian for any length of time, you've probably heard a sermon or read a devotional that encouraged you to live by faith instead of fear. That sounds nice. It might even sound easy while you're sitting in church on Sunday morning, but how do you actually do it? This familiar passage from Philippians 4 is a practical manual. It's a practical manual for moving from fear to faith. I call it the Philippians 4 faith over fear formula. It's a step-by-step process that you can work through any time in just a few minutes. It reframes our worries and reorients us to the God who is greater than our fears. Here are the steps that Paul gives us in this short passage. First, rejoice. Start by stating God's goodness, grace, and glory. This shifts our focus from our fears to the object of our faith. Paul adds, the Lord is near. We need to be reminded that God is always present and always personal. God is our God, and He is with us. Second, do not be anxious. Having anxiety is natural, but being anxious is a state in which our individual anxieties have lumped together and become a kind of undefined, overwhelming force. We can break anxiety down and make it smaller and more manageable by naming our individual worries. I find it actually helps to write them down as well. When we articulate our anxiety, it stops owning us. Third, by prayer and petition, present your requests to God. Having identified and articulated our anxieties, we now offer them to God. We turn each worry into a prayer and then place it in the Lord's hands. Fourth and finally, with thanksgiving. Even as we are praying our anxieties, we are giving thanks to God for His past faithfulness, for His present blessings, and for His future intervention. We can trust that God cares about our cares because He cares for us. The promised result, according to Paul, is the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. That's it. The Philippians 4 faith over fear formula. If you struggle with anxiety, I encourage you to at least try this for a week or two every morning before you reach for your phone, before you tune into the news, before you even have time to start worrying. Read through Philippians 4, verses 4 through 7. Work through the steps. In the process, you will turn your worries into prayers. You will trade your anxiety for God's peace, and you will move from fear to faith.